What's good, YouTube and Twitch? We're live to both right now with the Bachelor Party live stream, and if we're off YouTube right now, we might be on Twitch only, so check out Zodiac Duelist TV and be sure to be over there. But that being said, let's get into it with one of the best buyouts of the year, right, boys? Union Scramble at $4. So this is only one printing. It's in the Kaiba structure deck there that oversold. So I think a lot of people are going to have copies of this to flood back on the market eventually. Maybe in their bulk, maybe in their, back of their closets. But over on eBay, we already see a copy at $116 with every other copy bought out. So this was a pretty thorough buyout overall. So why is this the buyout over something like Magnet Reverse for ABC? Well, if your buster gets dealt with, like by a Kaiju or a Strike or some way that it couldn't respond, you're able to bring back all three of your pieces and just fuse once again. I personally think that Union Scramble is going to see a huge price decrease back to about where it originally was. It's a trap card in 2018, and even if traps became prevalent, we have Red Reboot, but we have Trickstar Light Stage and Trickstars running around at relatively full power. We have the ability to deal with back rows like these, and it's unlikely that ABC is going to struggle through the game and want this to be the backup over something like Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. Like, would you really want this over a Solemn? Like, going to another buster that you're going to have to wait a whole another turn to fuse into? I don't necessarily think so. So, Union Scramble, I'm not the biggest fan of the buyout, but this is an open conversation. What do you guys think about it? And we have open chat here too if anyone wants to chime in. But I personally... What's up?
Burial from a different dimension does it better.
I don't know. This gets it to the field if you do have all the targets, but like if A is specifically dealt with in one. So I've seen DD Crow a few times this format, odd enough. I do think that this is just kind of niche, and I don't think it's going to stay up there. Next up, we have the Cosmos, with Cosmojo and Tin Can actually rising, while Dark Destroyer falls back down to Earth just a little bit. It was originally, up there at 23, 22, and we see it at the about $20 mark right now. But Cosmojo heads up towards the $15 mark, and Tin Can up towards 11 and then 12 from its $8 mark, so about 3. I said that the Cosmo buyout wasn't real until we saw Cosmojo go up. Then we know people are more interested in the deck. I still don't think we're going to have that huge moment. Like, yeah, Asian Persuasion topped a regional, that's a tuber. Even if this tops a regional, it takes a big name to go with it to give real price spikes to this deck. And we see it over on eBay at 14, 14.75, 15. I don't know that this is gonna maintain, but people do seem legitimately at this point interested in the deck. Only 8 prices for Cosmojo. Wow. And 14 for Tin Can. We really could use a reprint for these at this point. My opinion is, without something like Emergency Teleport coming back to multiples, this deck just struggles and isn't what it once was. We saw it come back during Zodiac format because, well, Dryden couldn't deal with this very well. People eventually learned, hey, Whiptail's the king, it's going to take care of all of this stuff, but I don't think we're in that point where, it's not filled with true Dracos where this could maybe just rival it. Like, I don't think we're to the point where Dark Destroyer's the end-all be-all just because it's at 2. That's my personal opinion, though. We head into Super Quantal Red Layer. Another buyout, huh? Limitless Games. Hey, Jason Holloway, that you? Over at $20 before we see that first new listed from Frontline game. Almost thought this was Fortnite games earlier. Back down to $9 versus its market price of $5. I think we'll see this quickly fall. We've seen this get multiple volleys of buyouts before for random reasons. Somebody said Invoked for this. I don't think so. I don't think it's very good in Invoked. We see it $8 here on eBay with a new listing before we do see 15 and similarly high price. I think we'll see a bunch of people undercut, a lot of competition on this card, and if you have it, it's a great time to list it and make some money. I don't think this is gonna be worth a ton. It's not like it's making Cyber Dragon Infinity on the end of a board. You pretty much got to use it as a starter, and I'm not the biggest fan of it as a card. I just don't think in 2018 right now it's gonna have a meta impact all of the sudden. But people tend to go for this card over and over, and it consistently makes. Last time it was bought out, it was 3. Now it was bought out at 5. It seems to consistently go up at its buyout point. So what do you guys think of this? Is it just a cycling because it has one printing, or do you think there's a legitimate reason for this going up? Galaxy, starting off with Galaxy Knight here, we see its first edition copy at $5.50 before going up quickly past $6. Let's see where the cheapest lands, actually. $6.22 after that. And we see on eBay at $6 as well. We go into Galaxies in general, a lot of them are up. Galaxies have future support guaranteed and clinched coming out. I think the support is cute and fun, but I don't think it's going to be meta impactful. I do also think... I hate to say this with the deck, it's a little bit of boneless Blue Eyes. It doesn't feel as good as what Blue Eyes can do, and those are already on the outside of the meta looking in, but a lot of people are excited. We also see like Blackwing Chris the Crack of Dawn from the next Legendary Collection. This ties into my whole point. Do you think casuals, outside of people just targeting for buyouts, will influence the market for decks like these? Chris the Crack of Dawn over here, $6.75 plus, and quickly going up towards $8 on eBay, almost immediately towards $8 over here, starting at $7. A recent buyout, and we have the Blackwings featured in the new Legendary Duelist 2. Do you think that the casuals are actually going to buy it up, or do you think the casuals already have this and these are more targeted buyouts, people going for cards, people trying to get things to hold? I think a lot of the people that appreciate these decks already have them, and it's people either late to the party or returning to the game because these get support. It's a really hard call, or maybe even a mix, but I think things like these, like you have Galaxy Knight. Let's look up Wizard. Wizard is another card that has had consistent value over time, and we see it actually at $4 before $5. I know it's around $5 on TCG Player. It's interesting to see stuff like this hold value, and I think it is the casual market overall. It doesn't have to have a meta impact to maintain its price. It just has to have less printings and be rare overall. But I truly do think the people who enjoy these decks already have them and will be keeping them. OTS Pack 8 is something I wanted to dig into real quick. Kagari evening out near the $70 mark. Droll and Lock staying above 60, towards 65, 68. Seems to actually be trending up as we head towards the 200th. By the way, the 200th attendance, I'm being told over 2,000 people pre-reg for Mexico. Over 2,000 people at Columbus and 1,700 for the Europe event. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying, right? Oh, man. Y'all are ridiculous. And the OTS Pack 8, one of the best OTS packs, kind of shows it in the prices too. Almost $9 for Underclock Taker. A transitional piece not in everybody's extra decks. And so many of these cards are actually just keeping really great value in this OTS pack. Besides Glasspell, which I called going down at one point. Really weird how that went back and fell back to 2 real quick. It was really terrible buyout. But we do see... Oh, go ahead.
Do you think the price spike on Underclock Taker is also because of the extra linking because of Goki?
I don't think necessarily. It's very rare that you see Underclock on either end of the extra link, and you have the common version. This is people wanting to hollow out their decks overall, and also OTS Pack 8 not being the most, available. You have to have an OTS store, and you have to have these packed. There's just so few of these on the market overall that I think is realistically what it is. But it is a down arrow for the starting point where you're not trapped with a one link like a Link Spider or a Link Kribo. So it's not the worst option overall. But we see OTS Pack 8 stabilized and actually headed back up overall. Blue Rose Dragon going on up because we have all the new Rose Dragon stuff. White Rose Dragon, Red Rose Dragon, all these small boys and girls, whatever you want to identify as. So we see Unlimited Near Mint at 5, the first ed towards 7, 8. From EXVC, there is a super rare version somewhere, but on Blue Rose Dragon. I don't know that it was great to go for it, but its effect's better than I thought because it's when this card is destroyed, not depending on the opponent. You can destroy it yourself and send it to the graveyard. You can special summon a Black Rose Dragon or any plant-type monster in the graveyard. Pretty darn good for an ancient card, and we can see it continuing to work once we finally get our Romage link. Maybe. Looking around at just Flood and the other sets, like over here at Dark Saviors, Engage is actually floating, and Permanence is floating. Ghost Spells have been going up just a little bit. Widow Anchor not really moving. It's perplexing, and we'll kind of see how it falls out after the 200th. With that many players, you know the market's going to flood with cards. Afterwards, we'll see the eventual fallout. But Multi-Faker is a big surprise for me. I hadn't looked at this in a while. $10 freaking dollars. I told you guys to pick this up at $3. $10. All the other pieces became cheap. This is from Flood, and now it makes the front page for Flood. I'm pretty impressed that it hit 10. I would have thought 7, but it's still going upwards. We'll see where it's going to eventually land. Ghost Ogre going up, surprisingly, both for the Ultra and Supers. Lowest near mints at 15 for both. People are telling me that now Ghost Ogre finally affects the meta. You can hit the Goki kind of link ups, and it actually does something now. I don't know about that as in the previous format. We saw like finals that had no hand trap Goki versus no hand trap Goki. But we're in a new era without Nightmare Goblin. Maybe hand traps are what scream consistency a little more. We'll see it play out at the 200ths. And we do see from Canada 13, 13, 1350, 14 on eBay. I'm not the biggest believer in Ghost Ogre, but I do think it will cycle back during certain formats. Very similar to Droll. Droll's overpowered now, but did so little in past formats. Ghost Ogre did so much in past formats and was doing so little. I think it can phase in again. Do you think its time is now, or do you think it's later? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And what about you guys in open chat? Any faith in Ogre right now, or do you think it's a little overhyped?
I guess it really depends on who what their hand is more than like.
Yeah, see, if it's dependent on the hand rather than dependent on the format, I feel like it's not quite there. You don't want to be main decking it.
I mean, it's definitely good.
I feel like Ogre has the ability to definitely come back, but probably not like this format.
This format is a shell of the past format, which leads me to believe that Ghost Ogre's time isn't now.
I think it is going to fade out of relevance just because the Thunder Dragons, which are going to make a huge impact, can all, like, protect themselves.
Yeah, they have that self-protection, so I do think that, like...
do too much.
But I don't think the Thunder Dragons are going to be overpowering. I think they'll be a part of the meta, but not overpowering the meta.
There is one thing that would make Ogre come back. And
What's
that would be if Pendulum Magicians come back now that Gokis are no longer as...
rest in peace, Triff. Sorry.
If they come back, if they come back, then Ogre will go back to being a staple.
Alright, moving forward just a little. Call by the Grave. The super rares are actually up past the $4 mark at $4.25 and the market price quote-unquote $5. And the commons are actually passing towards $1.50, $1.50 over here. And on eBay, even the commons are $2 despite it getting limited. So all those extra copies out there didn't really do much for the price. And it seems like people are recognizing the power of this card maybe even more due to the ban list. I think it's a great card. And oddly enough, the discussion that popped up when this got hit was I saw a lot of the pro players saying, I hated this card, it should have got hit harder. I think it's not once per turn clause is what gives it such power in consideration for the hit on the ban list. And I do think it does more than a lot of people realized at first. And maybe with this ban list, people finally realized, hey, I should be grabbing mine now. So even with the surplus on the market from trading and selling, we see a little bit of a price increase and hike even towards the commons. So if you didn't know, yeah, you got some $1.50 to $2 commons, boys, out of Call by the Grave. That being said, this has been Drunk Market Watch. Any final notes from Open Chat?
My final remark would be Call by the Grave is extremely good this format. Like, I was playing locals today, and he had double set Call by the Grave, and I'm playing Goki, and the fact that it's not once per turn just completely ruined my turn. So I just want to say I really want to keep I would like to see an eye kept on Call by the Grave on both sides.
Well, obviously Konami's looking at it if it's on the FNL list.
Yeah,
this is true.
Well as Called by the Grave is just, I think a lot of people are now ready to get it because maybe there was that expectation for it to get hit, and now that it has been hit, now
I don't think I saw it on anybody's wish list, though. Anybody's.
I've seen a couple people think that it's too strong in combo decks like Goki. But in general, no, it was a kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I agree with that. So thanks for joining today's Market Watch. Again, Bachelor Party stream. If we're not on YouTube, we've moved to Twitch only, where we can do like song requests, video plays, that kind of stuff. Looking at anime titty threads. So please join there. I'm getting married tomorrow. Thanks, guys. There probably won't be a video tomorrow, but this is Drunk Upload right now from the night. So come and join. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for being here, Open Chat.